president of the Igbo Youth Congress, Bright Ezeocha, in the studio with us. Good morning. Thanks for joining us.
Good morning. It's nice to see you.
Good morning.
Right. We also have joining us via Skype from the UK is a social commentator, Kayode Ogundamisi. Kayode, good morning. Okay, we'll have him join us as we get along. Now, Bright, let's come to you on this. A lot of Nigerians have been following what's going on in the East. In fact, that seems to be one of the biggest issues right now on the headlines across the country. So many people still don't understand what really IPOB is trying to do here.
Well, first and foremost, I'm not a member of IPOB, but for the past few days, I've had to have interaction with them because I know what is happening now indirectly affects us because I'm an Igbo man. And in a nutshell, to me, if you ask me, what I think those young men are asking for is restructuring of Nigeria, and which is what every other tribes are also asking for. Though the methodology may differ from other people, but in a nutshell, what they are saying is we are no longer comfortable with this arrangement. An arrangement where you have a recent appointment to the Nigeria NNPC without one single Igbo man among them is worrisome. The situation where our people were giving quick notice in the north, the governor ordered for the arrest of those who gave our people quick notice and nothing happened. It's also worrisome. This is why we will be shouting since after that quick notice that there is need for our people to be guaranteed in the north. There was no, up to now, there was no Egweke dance in the north. Now the Kanu is on trial. Deployment of military to the south is absolutely unnecessary. I was expecting that the federal government would allow the courts to complete its process. Perhaps if at the end of the day, if the court ordered for his rearrest and he resisted the arrest, and if police were not able to effect the arrest, then the military can come in.
Yeah, but he's not been arrested.
And when you said you deployed military to the southeast, because the day that this thing was made, I called my wife and said this deployment is to destabilize the southeast. She laughed and she asked me why. I said, when I listened to the man
in whose interest would it be if the southeast is destabilized?
I don't know. I don't know what the government is doing.
Do you think this government will, sleep peacefully if it knows that the southeast is boiling? Let me still remain with you. You said you interacted with IPOB only recently. I'm wondering, that interaction, was it between yourself and Nnamdi Kanu, the leader of IPOB, or just any other member of IPOB?
No, I actually had a lot of conversation for the past 3 days with their publicity secretary.
Okay.
And because he's on ground, and he had keep updating me of the event that took place in that place since the past 3 days. Even as you and I talk, yesterday night, while we are still talking, I was hearing a gunshot, and I asked, what is happening? He told me the army is back in Nnamdi Kanu's house.
You know, I asked you that question. I have to quickly, because the body language from the Southeast governors, some people are saying the Southeast governors have left this to fester for too long. They didn't intervene. They didn't say anything when they should have. And that's why you have this situation on their hands now. We'll allow you react to that after we allow, of course.
Let's have Kayode Ogundamisi joining us on phone from the UK. Kayode, good morning.
Good morning.
All right, it's good to have you join us right now. I know you've been following developments from the eastern part of Nigeria the last few weeks. What have you been hearing, especially because when these things happen this way, the stories you hear from the United States or the UK or in China, sometimes they're different from the way it happens back home here. What have you been hearing? Give us an idea.
Thank you very much. It's unfortunate that your guest in the studio seems to want to distort history. Nobody is opposed to the agitation for a sovereign state of Biafra or the agitation for true federalism. In the Southwest, these call for true federalism has been on since forever, since actually the creation of Nigeria. What people are opposed to is this modus operandi of the character called Nnamdi Kanu. It is sad that he felt his siesta was disturbed, but the siesta and the lives of Igbo young men and women, Igbo traders, Igbo businessmen in other parts of the country is being put into danger by the rhetoric of Nnamdi Kanu. First, this is a man who said he does not recognize the authority of the government of Nigeria. He does not recognize Nigeria as a country. He uses the internet with hate speech. He calls Nigeria the zoo. He calls Yorubas animal. He calls Fulani people enemies. He calls on his supporters to kill and maim other nationalities. He actually barred a Yoruba pastor, Pastor Kumuyi, from entering the southeast Nigeria. So it is disingenuous to describe this young man as a peaceful agitator. Your guess is in Lagos. How many Igbo men and women are being disturbed in Lagos? Igbo men are trading in Alaba. They are trading and living peacefully among themselves. When we talk about marginalization, it's in Lagos. There are several roads in Lagos that are not starred. There are several people in other parts of Nigeria, like our brothers and sisters in Igbo land, who do not have good roads, who are oppressed, who have been victims of successive governments that add Igbo, Yoruba, Hausa, and all tribes. The problem with Nigeria is between the oppressor and the oppressed. And he talked about Operation Igweke. The Nigerian army had exercise in Sharan Dazi in Northwest in July 2015. They had Awatese in Southwest, October 2015. They had Shirin Abi in Bashi and Gombe State in 2015. They had Abin Ukuwa. They had operations all across Nigeria. It is the duty and responsibility of the Nigerian continue to use his radio Biafra to spawn hate against other tribes. And aside from that, this young man is claiming and misleading young men and women who have a genuine cause. If he's calling for true federalism the way your guest in the studio has been doing, no one is going to disturb him, but it's endangering the life of our compatriots in the southeastern part of Nigeria.
All right, let me jump in here, Kayode Ogundamisi. Now, does this Operation Python Dance 2 send the wrong signals to not only IPOB or the southeast, but to the rest of the country? Is there a need for the Nigerian military to exercise some kind of restraint or discretion, considering the sensitive, tense atmosphere that exists right now, especially in the southeast?
Look, we condemn any violation of the rights of Nigerian citizens, either by the military or IPOB. And I think it is clear that, for example, the video that came out of the Nigerian army brutalizing IPOB members should be condemned by all of humanity. But also, there are videos in circulation of IPOB members searching for Hausa Fulani elements within their society, burning down a mosque, killing a police officer. This violence from all sides should be condemned. Freedom of speech is not freedom to be entitled to hate speech. There are peaceful ways to agitate and demand for the sovereign state of Biafra. They have legislators in the National Assembly. They have senators. How come those senators are folding their hands and they are not pushing for bills in the National Assembly for true federalism in the country?
Well, all right, Kayode, let me stay with you so we can just round off with you before we come back to the studio. It is on record that Nnamdi Kanu had violated in fact, all of his bail conditions when he was released from jail, but he still has not been arrested. And a lot of people have said that he's not being arrested is more political than legal. What's your take on this?
Because he knows Nigeria is more or less a lawless country. He knows he can get away with murder. He knows we have murderers in our society and corrupt elements who commit crime and they disrespect the law. This man has violated all his bail conditions. He continues to even disrespect leaders in his own region who call on him to act peacefully, who call on him to channel his agitation in a proper way. Here in the UK, Nnamdi Kanu, where he is based in Peckham, where his radio is based, where most of the people of his organization who call on our young women to take on the street and throw bottles and challenge the military. You know, what he's doing is hate speech. He would have been in jail if he was, for example, calling for the dismemberment of the UK by calling on young people to aid other people in Scotland or Wales. The problem is, that Nigeria is a sensitive country. The president has to be careful. He has to make sure he's not seen to be attacking Igbos. But that is not to say that the president has completely treated the people of Southeast well. His own utterances, like the 97% or 5% of electorate, sort of describing the people of Southeast as people who did not vote for him, is not helpful. There is a need for dialogue. Until Igbo people rise up and take care of this Hitler, this is how it emerged in Germany, until they are courageous enough to challenge this guy and say, you do not represent us. And I'm very relieved and proud of Reverend Father Mbaka, who said yesterday that Kano is going to lead young Igbo men and women to untimely death, just like it has happened in Southwest with the OPC, which we were a member of, and it happened in the Niger Delta. There are peaceful ways. We have several problems challenging Nigeria, issues of poverty, lack of electricity, lack of equality and justice, and this can be resolved without shedding
all right. Yes. That point definitely well taken. Kayode Ogundamisi is a public affairs commentator speaking with us via phone from the UK. Thanks, sir, for joining us. All right, let's bring it back to Bright Ezocha. You heard what he said there. Yes. That yes, indeed, there is a need for government to go into some kind of dialogue. But I'm even more interested in what he said about Ndibo coming out to say, look, Nnamdi Kanu does not really represent the thinking and the mindset of Igbos, at least not in the way that he's going about his own call for restructuring, because like what you said, you have interacted with them and they're asking for restructuring just like any other Nigerian. So does Nnamdi Kanu, to your thinking, represent the mindset of Ndibo right now?
Obviously, Nnamdi Kanu cannot claim to be speaking for the Ndibo.
Okay.
Like I told you, I'm not a member of IPOB, and nor do I agree with their methodology of trying to achieve whatever they intend to achieve. Some of us, in our only two ways, have tried to interact with them, to ask them what exactly are they looking for, or also to advise them how best to go about it. Yesterday, when I saw the video that was posted by Sahara Reporter, or where they were asking for the Hausa people, I quickly called their press guy. I asked him if he had seen the video. He told me, he denied that it's not their members, that probably some people that felt bad over what have happened to them, but have took to the street to do that. But he immediately promised he was going to do a press release to condemn such actions. Because I am concerned, because today is Friday. I know how vulnerable the North can be when this kind of thing, this kind of video keep moving on circulating on the internet, and especially on Fridays like this. I quickly called Shetima. I asked Shetima what he's doing. He told me that they have gone out to talk to their people, irrespective of the video they saw, and he also kind of gave me some level of assurance that he will continue to work hard. And I turned back to this. I condemned that actions because the people that they wanted to attack, but I did not see them attack anybody. Obviously, they were only asking questions, maybe out of frustration.
But maybe because they've not seen the person they were looking for.
Maybe out of frustration. But then I quickly called them. The guy assured me that they are using their network to. They are asking their people to calm down, that nothing is going to happen.
What about the Southeast leaders, the governors and...
You see, honestly speaking, I must be honest with you. Those of us from the Southeast, we don't seem to see these people as our political leaders. We see them as our enemies, because the problem we are having today is mostly contributed by these political leaders. When we're talking about how we are being marginalized in the entire nation called Nigeria, what about the little resources at our disposal and the governor's disposal to develop that Southeast? They have not been doing anything with it. And that's why today you see the kind of level of backwardness we have in the Southeast. And we are aware of that. That's why you see most of these guys, they're not willing or ready to listen to these people. Even in recent times, some of us begin to look towards the Ohanese because we feel that they begin to understand our pains. Well, Ohanese before now was not also in the picture of what is happening to our people. Today, even the business is being destroyed in the southwest, in the north, even in the south, even in the southeast where they come from. You have also happened in recently, where the government bulldozed a long-standing market and how you kill innocent people. So, with all these things, with all these pains in their hearts, you see, it will be easier for a like of Nnamdi Kanu to swing them to his side. But we can also keep asking for restructuring. And some people are telling us that we cannot restructure. Because in the past 30 to 35 years, they have perfected their acts of making it impossible for us to restructure. They keep telling us to go to National Assembly. Which National Assembly are we going to go to? At independence, we have 4 regions. Today, out of that 4 regions, 3 regions have only produced 17 states, and one region has produced 19 states. How many of the 3 regions are in the Senate or in the House of Assembly? They want us to go there to champion our cause, knowing very well that it's practically impossible to get any acceptance from National Assembly to restructure Nigeria. Is it those that are benefiting from the rot that want to restructure Nigeria? And that's why we're asking, we are calling on them not to attack anybody, not to carry any revenge against the military, but to keep watch. I will have called them. I keep advising them, video whatever is going on. Video it, we will document it. We know the appropriate channels to send these videos to. As of yesterday night, for over 3 hours, there was a serious gunshot in his family's house. More than 4 people were killed. I have the video. I saw it. But at the same time, we keep begging them not to take the laws into their hands. They should calm down. There's a channel to address all these issues. If we cannot get these issues addressed in Nigeria, we will try in United Nations. We will try under the EU. We will try under the International Court of Justice. That's also a legal way to address this issue. But then at the same time, please, we are pleading with the military. As the government have announced that they will start their withdrawal today, let them withdraw from the Strait. And if they want to carry out their military exercise, not beside Nnamdi Kanu's house. It's so highly suspicious.
The military has come out to debunk what the governor has said, that they are not withdrawing.
And that's the problem we're having.
But the
government that is on ground understood the situation in his territory.
Yes.
And somebody who don't know what is happening is saying that's not their position.
No, but the point there is, Brad, let us handle these issues and look at them really critically. There was the reason why the military got there in the first place. Anytime the military comes, there's certainly going to be consequences. And Nnamdi Kanu should know that better. The governors in the East should know, the governor, should know that better. So that we were expecting, when all the calls now coming on the military to, withdraw from the Southeast, all of that effort should have been channeled into telling or cautioning Nnamdi Kanu in the first place with his hate speeches and all of that. We were expecting all of that to be on ground even before the military came.
The leadership of the Southeast have been doing that. At least there was some level of progress that were achieved before the military was deployed to the Southeast. I remember vividly that some political leaders in the Southeast met with Nnamdi Kanu and appealed to him to restrict the order of that there was not going to be any election in Anambra State, which he agreed with. Unfortunately, some of his members came out to say no, they do not agree with him. That is the irony of leadership. If you are not in tune with your members, they will disclaim you the next minute. All right,
let's put you on hold as we bring in from Abuja studio. He's the Director, Army Public Relations, Brigadier General Sani Usman. Thank you so much for joining us, and thanks for your patience. Now, the Army has, denied that Kanu's residence was invaded on Tuesday. It says its Operation Python Dance 2 was not targeted at Nnamdi Kanu, the IPOB leader. What exactly is the truth of the situation right now? Why Operation Python Dance 2 in the first place?
Well, thank you very much for having me on your program, and good morning all. The essence of exercise Egwe K2 is to sharpen the proficiency of the troops of 82 Division Nigerian Army on internal security issues. And this come about as a result of the successes we had over, the conduct of exercise Python dance that took place between November and December 2016. And anybody who is familiar with the security concern in this country, he knows that during the Yuletide period, some geopolitical zones of the country always experience security challenges. So the essence of the training is to ensure that the military knows what to do in case if they are called upon. And it wasn't just the southeastern part of the country that we have had similar exercises. We have had Shirin Harbi in the northeast, Bauchi State and Gombe State in particular, which culminated into exercise Harbin Kunama that covered the northwestern geopolitical zone, particularly Zamfara State, where the President Commander-in-Chief also attended. We had exercise Crocodile Smile because of the security challenges in the south-south geopolitical zone of the country. And we ended the year with exercise Python Dance covering the southeast geopolitical zone. And all the exercises were successful. In fact, it was because of the commendable feedback that we have had that we planned and we got the approval for the continuation of such training exercises. Remember, if you recall the history of this country, especially the unfortunate misadventure of military administration, there was so much bad blood that the military could not train. And that was why we had the serious security challenges that we had when the Boko Haram terrorism and insurgency came about. Now there is democracy. We should learn to do things in accordance with, democratic tenets, rule of law, and constitutional requirement. The military is the military of the Nigerian society. It is not coming from the moon or anywhere. It is better for us to train in case if there is need for them to defend the territorial integrity of this country or to come in aid of civil authority as enshrined in the Constitution. They know what to do and they should synergize with all other stakeholders, particularly other security agencies. So that is the essence of this exercise. It's so sad and unfortunate that people, for reason best known to them, they decide to read unnecessary meaning into them. I can rest assure you, the Nigerian Army is thoroughly, professional, highly disciplined organization that they will not wake up and do things against the will of the Nigerian people. Therefore, the exercise is not targeted against any individual or group of persons.
All right. It is good to hear such reassurances from you. In fact, one of the statements that went out earlier said that any military officer that is found going beyond the rule of engagement will be disciplined. However, we've seen videos that have gone viral of the Nigerian military's high-handedness where some suspected members of IPOB were thrown into mud and told to drink dirty water and so on. What's the response of the military to that?
Yes, I signed that press release, and of course, it's on behalf of the Nigerian Army, and we mean every single word that is contained in that press release. And normally, whenever you have exercises or any, endeavor in life, you don't have 100% successes. Usually there might be infractions either deliberately or due to human error. And contingency has been made in case if there is any infraction by any officer or soldier. Coming back to that video, no sooner than it emanated, the 82 Division Nigerian Army was directed to investigate, and whoever is found to have been involved should face the full wrath of the law. Right now, as it were, I know that both the division and the Directorate of Military Intelligence, in conjunction with the Nigerian Army Corps of Military Police, have commenced investigation. Already arrests have been made. You please exercise patience to see the outcome of this investigation and the disciplinary action that will be taken against those found, to be involved. And the Nigerian Army has always been, forthright when it comes to military discipline and administration of justice if there are infractions. You are a living witness to when a disabled Nigerian was molested by a group of soldiers in Onitsha. You know what happened. And apart from that also, right now as it were, despite the fact that we are fighting a war against a Boko Haram terrorist group, we have a standing field general court-martial that has even sentenced erring soldiers to death and some of them to various jail terms. So please, what I want you to understand is that kindly exercise patience, support the Nigerian military, and give them benefit of doubt to see what steps are they going to take whenever there are problems. And just recently, when we had a group of soldiers that took law into their hand, that they had fracas with the members of the Nigerian Union of Journalists in Umuahia, Abia State. The brigade commander, 14th Brigade, personally went to the secretariat. And beyond that, the general officer commanding 82 Division dispatched a colonel, the Deputy Director of Army Public Relations, to go to the secretariat where they, made peace with the aggrieved party and of course paid for those items that were destroyed, and there was a joint press conference. That is the spirit. That is how it should be. Wait, whenever there is a problem, the most important thing is to wait and see what will be done. And we have always been doing it to the best of our ability and in line with the constitutional requirement. And in any
let
case,
me come in here, sorry, if I may.
Any military operation.
If I may come in, speaking of the invasion of the NUJ Secretariat by some of the men of the Nigerian military, has there been any disciplinary action taken against them? That's on the one hand. The Operation Python Dance, you did say earlier that unfortunately some IPOB members and others in the Southeast have read meanings into the original intention of the Nigerian military. What are you doing to reassure the people of the Southeast, including all of these, groups, that the military has come in peace and not necessarily to get at anyone?
Yeah, first, no sooner than that incident happened, steps were taken, investigation commenced, and I know that 3 soldiers have been identified. Right now, they are even in detention, and the military justice system will take its course. But remember, we are operating rule of law in this country. Everybody is presumed innocent until proven guilty by a competent court of jurisdiction. Luckily enough, we have a judicial system in the military, that administer justice. Right from investigation, there will be charges, there will be orders. Depending on the magnitude of the offense, a commanding officer or a brigade commander can dispense justice. Otherwise, they will be referred to a court-martial. The justice system is slow, but it's sure. And going to your next question about assurances, first and foremost, if you recall last week Friday, the Chief of Training and Operation, Major General David Amadou, held a press conference here in Abuja where he told the whole world, where the media houses that were represented, that the Nigerian Army was embarking on exercise Egweke 2 and detailed everything that will be involved and appealing to the members of the public. That is step number 1. The second step, we issued out a release to containing the telephone numbers of the various commanders, which we have turned into sectors right from sector 1 to 6, and of course created social media platform to interact with people in case if there is anything untoward. Then beyond that, the various commanders at the various levels have been interfacing with the community leaders at, right from the state government, traditional rulers, and this thing is ongoing. And in addition to that, the Department of Civil Military Affairs is embarking on humanitarian activities in conjunction with the Nigerian Army Medical Corps. That is why we always call for understanding, support, and restraint, so that they should allow this exercise to take its full course to see the activities that have been involved. Last year we did it, and we did it very well. People had a hitch-free Yuletide period. It is our hope and prayer that we should replicate the same.
All right, General, there was a statement from, a press statement from the governor of Abia State yesterday that the military will be withdrawing from the streets this morning. And there was a counterclaim almost immediately from the military that that is not going to be so. Can you enlighten Nigerians and even those who are watching, especially those who are apprehensive from the southeast, how the military is going to either gradually withdraw or not withdraw, as the case may be?
Yeah, you see, the thing is that the one good thing about Nigerians is fertile imagination and creativity. And that is why in the statement we put what His Excellency, the Executive Governor of Abia State, said in court. And of course, the social media was awash, attributing the source of information to the State Executive Governor about the withdrawal of troops in respect of exercise Egweke 2 to the State Executive Governor and the General Officer Commanding 82 Division. The General Officer Commanding 82 Division has not said so, and the State Governor did not say so. Of course, the Governor is the Chief Security Officer of his state. And remember, we have various state security outfits that goes by various appellations. Take, for instance, Operation Mesa and all the rest. So usually there are internal arrangement to, avert breakdown of law and order. His Excellency was referring to that. But unfortunately, some people inadvertently took it to be so. In fact, this morning I was talking to a publisher because of the way he cast his headline. You know that the army denigrated, countered the General Officer Commanding. I said there is no basis for that. In the first place, when there is nothing, you cannot imagine it to be there. Basically, people just tend to put words into people's mouths unnecessarily. But the truth is that the exercise will continue, and we want to appeal to the public to go about their normal businesses. The thing is that we have had this exercise last year, and there was any reported problem. And why should this year be having, so much concern?
All right, Brigadier General Sani Usman, just hold on for us a little while as we hear from Nigerians on social media their mind about this face-off between IPOB and the Nigerian military. Foladele,
good morning.
Good morning, and a very good morning to our guests. All right, so as you can imagine, a lot of people are weighing in on this one, so let's find out. Okay. Ayoshogun says the actions of Kanu and IPOB agents do not negate the criminal laws of Nigeria, but the actions of the army can negate the laws of Nigeria. HRH Adabeke says, in all this, there is no single report of IPOB killing anyone, yet Nigerian army has killed over 200 IPOB members in 2 years. Paul Smith Obasi says, our army is corrupt, indisciplined, tribalistic. The barbaric action against IPOB members clearly shows why they have failed in so many ways. Israel Speedy Hopa says, please, what of the human rights violations of those beaten up by IPOB members because of their tribe? Let Igbo leaders talk to their people, and army won theirs. Nonso says, please, can somebody help tell me what IPOB people did that warranted sending troops of army to kill them? Fowowe says, let's not add more gasoline to this fire. Right now, the army needs to leave Aba, and all this IPOB members' nonsense needs to come to an end ASAP. All right, Brigadier General, really quickly, as you heard, so many reactions there. But let me take you up on the one that said the army is corrupt, indisciplined, and tribalistic. How do you react to that?
So many series of allegations based on what you have read and I've heard. and people are entitled their opinion, to their own opinion. But in real sense of the word, most of all these allegations are unfounded, baseless, and not true, in the sense that they are more or less sweeping generalization. Take, for instance, for you to say army is corrupt, how? And they are tribalistic, how? You know, and they are indisciplined, how? You know, I want people, whenever they are making such allegations, to cite instances that can form the basis of those generalizations they are making. And it is not true. Nigerian army is one of the best armies you can think of in terms of professionalism and discipline. And the issue of corruption, and it is not true. As a matter of fact, we are even leading the way in the process of accountability. And I can tell you why. When the new the chief of army staff came on board, he publicly declared his asset for the first time in the history of the Nigerian army. And by the way, the Nigerian army can, you know, date its history back to 1863. So it's roughly about 154 years old. Agreed, there could be controversies that no army is older than the nation. But the truth is that the Nigerian army can trace its history way back that, to that period. And what I'm trying to say is that beyond this innovation of declaration of assets and routine auditing of accounts, including operational accounts, there are other mechanisms. Say, for instance, we have never had a procurement department in the Nigerian Army which comply with the Public Procurement Act of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. And I can tell you, apart from that also, there are routine, you know, cross-checking. As I am talking to you now, there are auditors and fact-finding missions from the Department of Army Standard and Evaluation. You don't do anything without approval of such department, and is independent and is doing its job impartially and without you know, let and hindrance from the army hierarchy.
Okay.
Apart from also
all right.
the financial aspect of it, we have the instructional department.
I'm sure.
Fola, we have to let you go here now. Thank you.
Hopefully, sometime soon we'll be able to get the Brigadier General to give us an appraisal of the Nigerian Army, so that we can, you know. But the issue of the sensitivity and the tensions right now in the southeast. How long will Operation Python Dance last? How long is it going to, you know, continue?
The operation starts today, Friday, 15 September 2017, and it will last up to 14th October 2017. However, just like we mentioned yesterday, it will dovetail into the various state security arrangements to ensure that the Yuletide period is hitch-free. And beyond that, we have other similar exercises in other geopolitical zones of the country that will commence as soon as Operation Egweke ends, and it's ongoing. The whole bottom line here is to ensure that the Nigerian Army is well trained in case if there is need for it to perform any constitutional role, either defense of the territorial integrity of this country or in aid of civil authority, be it disaster management, be it quelling internal resurrections and the rest of them. The Nigerian Army knows what to do and will do that impartially, and it would do deference to the rules of the engagement and code of conduct, as well as the extant rules as enshrined in the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
All right, General, before we let you go, let me ask you this. We know that certainly when issues like this come up, we have seen some videos of things that even happened in Sierra Leone and Liberia going viral, people claiming that that is what is happening in the East. This is grounds where some people can decide when outside of the southeast to carry out reprisals. What is the army doing in case? We thank God there is no reprisals from any other part of the country right now from what is going on in the east. How would the military ensure that that doesn't happen, especially in other areas outside the southeast?
Well, thank you very much. You rightly noted that actually there is so much disinformation by some mischief makers for reason best known to them, either to pitch the army against the public or to pitch the components of Nigeria against each other. The records are straightforward. The Nigerian military did marvelously well in Liberia and in Sierra Leone, and this is unprecedented. That is why it is even a sore point of reference, because there is no way you can talk of democracy in Africa or in West Africa specifically without making reference to the sacrifice of Nigeria in bringing democratic governance in those two countries. And one thing I want to tell you, for instance, if you even talk about Sierra Leone, for instance, I know this population is about 4-point-something million. There is no single 100 square kilometers in that country you don't have the sweat or the blood of the Nigerian soldier. So for anybody to mischievously attribute any wrongdoing to Nigerian soldier in that country, I think that man or that person is being unkind and most uncharitable, because the world has witnessed our performance, and that is why they always come to us. And even here, when we are fighting terrorism and insurgency, the developed countries are making reference to the professional manner in which we are dealing with issues. And within a short period of time, we are able to solve a problem that has defied solution in some other parts of the world. And coming back to the issue of what we are doing to ensure that there is peace and understanding is a collective responsibility. The army is doing the best it could, and I have made mention of steps that we have taken, but we are reaching out to other components of the Nigerian society, either other government departments and ministries and agencies, to propagate the gospel of peace, so that Nigerians will understand the essence of our exercises and live in peace and harmony, go about their lawful business, and understand that it is just a few people, for reason best known to them, that they are trying to instigate this affection of violence among components of Nigeria. And
all right, we'll have to leave it there.
And the good thing is that, believe me, sincerely speaking,
we'll have to leave it there. Brigadier General Sani Usman, thank you so much for your time with us this morning on TVC Breakfast. We hope to have you back soon, sometime soon.
Thank you very much, General. Well, Bright is still here with us in the studio, the National President, Igbo Youth Congress. Now, going forward, you have heard what the General said, and in the spirit of bringing peace and ensuring that things work normally and going away from the concept of accusations and counter-accusation, what should be the way forward now?
The military has to re-establish some level of confidence in the minds of Igbo. First of all, I beg to disagree with him on the military having been fair to all ethnic groups. Last year, there was an attack there was a battle between the military and the IPOB member at Nkwo, which all of us knew claimed the life of so many IPOB members. Up to today, that incident have not been investigated. People have not been prosecuted. Nobody have gone to jail over it. And again, I also want to appeal to the military authority to please withdraw from the streets that is close to Nnamdi Kanu, because it's highly suspicious. And these people have alleged that yesterday, that they were at the house of Nnamdi Kanu was attacked, and many people were killed, and his father whereabouts and Nnamdi Kanu whereabouts is not known by up to now. The military should please help us to find out what has happened. Who are those that carried out the attack at Nnamdi Kanu's house yesterday, and probably prosecute these people. By doing so, they would have been able to re-establish that confidence in the heart of the Igbo.
All right, Bright Ezeocha, thank you so much for your time and sitting through as we had that discussion with the Brigadier General Sani Usman there. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And we can only pray that peace returns not only to the southeast, but to the rest of the country.